Hi Bill, thank you very much for speaking to us. We really enjoyed your keynote this morning.
Great, thanks for having me.
So you have a book.
I do. It's called Click, What Millions of People Do Online and Why It Matters.
Okay, so we're talking to you for Bulldog Reporter, and our audience is mainly public relations professionals, which is a bit different from this search engine strategies audience, although we do have one PR panel this time here. And PR people are just kind of getting to grips with the idea that search does matter, and all what these 10 million people do online. And why does it matter? It matters to us too as PR people.
Yeah, I think it matters two ways, and they're both things I cover in the book. And the first way is that other than people searching, if we look at the collective behavior of all people searching and how they're searching for the brands that we're responsible as public relations, we can glean so much information as to how the public perceives our brand from that search behavior. And I think the field of PR is just now realizing the power of doing that. And then secondly, it's how we can take that, form a feedback loop, and actually execute search campaigns to affect how our company is perceived. So actually modifying our perception using search campaigns, the terms we buy, how we optimize our site.
Do you have any specific examples?
Yeah, there's one example. It's not exactly a product example, but in politics, one of the things I talk about in the book is the public perception of a politician and how we can understand that perception using search data. So in the book, I talk about Barack Obama and the news story that broke in Insight magazine in January 2007. And that was the story about the madrasa. Now that story, which was about Obama as a child attending at the time the story said an extremist Muslim school. The story was debunked only 4 days later by CNN, who said it was an extremist school. Yet what we found in our data as we looked prior to that story breaking, how people were searching for Barack Obama, and then we looked immediately afterwards, and we found that the search patterns around Barack Obama had changed significantly pre and post story.
Wow.
Beforehand, there's a lot of searches around issues, and then right afterwards, the search is concentrated on Obama's religious beliefs. What was fascinating, though, is the half-life of that information, that story, was incredibly long. That search pattern lasted for about 11 months after the story broke, and then only then did it start to die down. The story there, I think the takeaway for someone in PR is that search behavior revealed to us what was going on in searchers' minds about Obama as a candidate and how that story affected their perception. And we've seen similar search behaviors around recalls, for example. So understanding a negative news story, how it affects our brand that we're working for, and how we might take what's happening and turn it around. So for example, if we know there's a recall on a specific car or truck, we know how people are searching, looking at search behavior. To do the second thing that we talked about, we could take that and actually buy those terms as part of our search marketing campaign and positively message about what we've done about a specific recall.
Right.
So it's the opportunity to take this negative information, negative behavior, and turn it around.
And also you spoke about being able to use information from search in a way that you couldn't do by doing traditional surveys.
Yeah.
And how fast it is.
Yeah, it's fast, but it's different. And one of the things we talk about, another main theme of the book, is that with traditional market research, there's a problem that we call cognitive dissonance. And it's that when people answer surveys, they answer in a way to shed themselves in the best possible light, often. Not always, but often. That clouds the results that we get back from traditional studies. Yet if you look at observed behavior, you see how people are truly acting, and oftentimes we see a difference between the two. And that difference can be very valuable in understanding our brand and how it might be perceived or how people think about a particular topic. It often is different in search behavior than it is in how the surveys come out.
And then you said, like, moving forward, that social search is changing a lot, like on YouTube, and how people are looking for peer reviews and figuring stuff out. So I know that PR people are just kind of beginning to feel their way into social media. Do you think that social and social search and all this consumer-generated media, what do you think they should be doing with it?
So social media has already arrived, and as PR professionals, we have to be in the middle of social media and understanding our brand and its interaction with these consumer-generated reviews, for example. But I think it goes even further than that. If I were to make predictions going forward, what's going to happen in the next year, 2 years, is that we as a society are beginning to become overwhelmed with information. And social media is going to be a source to help us navigate to find the information we need. So as PR professionals, we need to understand that and start factoring in social media as a way of getting our message out as well. And realize that social media isn't just going to become a place where people generate reviews or go to discuss things. It's going to be a way of finding information, just like search is today. So factoring that in going forward, we know that that's somewhere that we should be right now and concentrating on figuring out how we're going to insert ourselves in that conversation.
So apart from reading your book, if we're not buying your Hitwise reports, is there some other way we can tap into all the stuff you know?
We'll start by looking. Right? Yeah, we have a blog, so www.ilovedata.com, where we discuss how we've analyzed this data and show examples of it. Is a great way to start. And then I'd say to also look just at your own site-centric data. So your company's site-centric data, that can tell you a lot of information about your own brand just in terms of the search logs. And then from that, there's also some free tools that you can start with, like Google Trends, to understand the seasonality of your brand, its equity, products and services around your brand. When you find the value, then it's time to buy a service like Hitwise to truly understand how you can take advantage of that data.
Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.